This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
That was kind of a funny voice recording there. Yeah, you do kind of have a radio voice, don't you? Anyway, this is Dan calling. Talk to you when I talk to you. Later, bye.
Later, bye. 14th of March, 2021. My name's Corey Winfield.
Marnie Winfield.
And this is the 217 Recovery Podcast. Your friends probably told you, hey man, tune in this podcast. It's awesome. Talking about recovery, talking about movies, talking about bears, they talk about time machines, time travel. You name it, we talk about it. Because that's our life. This is what we do. We were both in recovery. Marnie has a little over a year and a half. I have 2 years and some change. So we talk about our lives in recovery, things that happen to us, things that we've discovered as we're going through the process, and we share it. A lot of people connect with that. So that's probably why your friend told you to listen. Mm-hmm. So tell your friend thanks that we said thanks to your friend. So as we're sitting here in the studio, Marnie's freezing to death. It's 70 in here.
Does not feel like 70.
She's got her 217 recovery hoodie on. You got the blanket, studio blanket.
Can't feel my fingers.
Yeah, she's struggling. It's real. But as we're sitting here, I look over at the TV, and I hate it. I don't hate the TV. I just hate what's on the TV right now because, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate. Marnie, you probably can relate too.
I know what you're going to say.
You know exactly what I'm going to say.
I do.
The same thing happened. Mm-hmm. When you're done drinking, and I say done drinking, for me it was like I ran out of money and I'm sitting there and I can't get any more. Life is hell. And I'm withdrawing. And I turn on a movie to just get noise going. And the movie goes off. And eventually it goes to that Roku screen. Uh-huh. Yeah. And you look up and you're just sitting there. But then you're like, I'm hurting too much to even move to do anything about it. And I just stare at it, wishing I wasn't in this moment.
I got one better for you.
Okay.
Back in the day when we watched DVDs, mm-hmm. and the DVD would be over, and it would play the trailer for it with like whatever music intro
yeah.
that it would have.
Yep.
And it would play it just over and over and over and over. And I actually now, if I thought hard enough about it, can remember specific DVDs that I had that would do that, because they don't all do that.
Old School did that.
Old School does that. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think Old School was one of them. But I had some weird movies that I watched. Not weird, but like, just not particularly like knee slappers or anything, just to have, like you said, noise on. And they would have some sort of intro that had like The Notebook or something. And it would have these weird songs or whatever. And then it would be quiet for like 10 seconds. And then it would start over again. Oh. I was just like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. I'm in a terrible dream. I feel just as bad as I am angry. Yeah. So, we don't have to live like that anymore.
No, I'm turning it.
That's a beautiful thing.
Boop, there we
and
go.
Just so you know, I know that whole landscape. It repeats itself and what all's in it.
Yeah.
And they put like landmarks in from different cities. And I went at one point, like actually paid attention to everything that was on there. I'm like, oh, Ferris wheel. Oh, there's the, CN Tower. There's the, oh man, bad news. Statue of Liberty. There it is again.
But yeah, I'm so glad I'm not in that spot right now today. And when you're in that moment, at least when I was in that moment, I felt like it was never going to end. But it does. Mm-hmm. And you can get out of it by not repeating the same thing over and over. Think about next time before you start to use, like, do you really want to go through this again? I don't know if I ever really thought about that. I knew, like, I don't know, maybe I tricked myself into thinking, well, this time's different. I mean, it was so many times where it was not different. I don't know. Or if I just lost the sight to even care about the end result of what was going to happen at the end of this.
That's it. That's the big thing. And you don't think. You don't even think about the repercussions. You're just like, it becomes, you close out and you forget on purpose all of the awfulness like it's not real, like it's not going to come back, because at that moment you don't feel it like that. You don't feel like all crappy and miserable and hopeless.
And that addiction part of your brain is just telling you, man, go get it, go get it.
Yeah, it's a disease. We have to remind ourselves often, at least, it's just, this is a nasty, nasty disease. And,
Just think about, like meth, like people who smoke meth, obviously everybody knows the damages it does to the teeth and your mouth. And if I took that person, okay, let's rewind back to when they're 17 or 16 or, back when they were younger, and say someone who's used and then just become a wreck now. And I sit them down and go, hey, look, here's this. You smoke that, you're going to lose all your teeth. Mm-hmm. All right, not smoking that, bro. But then the peer pressure or whatever happens, they get around people and they're like, oh, well, Mark's smoking it and he's still got his teeth.
Yeah.
I can do it then. And it just takes that one time and you're off. You're off to the races, and it's quick and it's bad.
Yeah, our rationalization is not right as addicts.
And, for people like myself who drink, you take it back to the 16, 17, oh, wow, I'm not an alcoholic. Just drink on the weekends.
Like, there's people that need new livers because they drink too much.
Yeah,
that would never, ever be me.
Yeah.
No, but at at 30, 33, I had early stages of cirrhosis. 33 years old. Swore that would never be me.
Yeah, there you were. Mm-hmm. Because that's just, I'll get married, I'll have kids, I have to start a job. I'm not going to drink. Not like every day. Well, maybe just a glass of wine, maybe two. And it's a slippery slope, and I'm not saying everybody who has a glass of wine has a problem, but it can become one real quick when you're using it to, like they say on TV, oh man, you had a rough day. Here, let's have a glass of wine. You start using it to replace things or to reward things. Oh, let's go get a drink, congratulations. And it's dangerous. And normal people don't even do that. It's crazy because you get caught up in it. And when I was drinking, I thought everybody drank like I did. Mm-hmm. I was crazy. And I was on the radio talking about, yeah, you go home, get a trash today. And it's kind of sad because I hear the people here in town in Traverse City, if ever I'm stuck somewhere where I'm forced to listen to the local radio, it's like, oh. But then they'll be like, oh, yeah, it's 5 o'clock. Get your beers on. Yeah. And it's like, but that's the mentality of the world I was in. Mm-hmm. When I get home, I'm going to get drunk. That's not what normal people do. That's not what your average person does. They don't just go to work, come home, and just, let's get drunk.
Right.
That's what we did.
Yeah.
And it's horrible.
And it's, it's not, we're not trying to say here, like, because when you reflect on the past, a lot of times you'll get stuck in how awful, like the awfulness of it all. And that's good to remember that stuff. Mm-hmm. But don't get stuck there, because you kind of always remember, get yourself out of that mind frame and always bring it back around full circle to, I don't have to live that way anymore. And this is not how my life ever has to be again. That was the past. I'm here today now doing what I'm doing, and I'm turning things around, and the future is what I'm looking at. So always have that kind of like forward momentum with, your thinking. Because we're gonna reflect back on our past. It's what it's just gonna happen. But you don't stay there.
Right. And I took a guy today. Let's call him Ryan. And we were talking, and he's got stuff. I used to have stuff. Used to have house, car, whatever, TV every room. Used to have stuff, just stuff, material things, not very important. At the time you think they are, you're like, oh, I got this. This is a symbol of how far I've come in life, and this is what society says I'm successful because I have all these things, and they don't mean anything. At the end of the day, it's are you alive? Do people love you? Mm-hmm. Are you involved in their lives? Are you helping people? At the end of the day, that's what it's about. That's what life's really about. But it's easy to get caught up in all that. I'm not saying he was caught up in it, but I had seen something on Facebook saying, maybe it's Twitter. Anyway, it said that you don't have to lose it all, and you don't. You don't have to hit rock bottom, and not everybody has to lose everything. But like I said to him, you keep drinking, and you definitely will. Mm-hmm. And do you know anybody who's 80 years old that's just been a raging alcoholic since the age of 30 that are just winning at life?
Right.
I don't know any. Do you know any 70-year-old meth addicts that have been using for 20 years? They're just killing it.
I know. That scares me so much. Is what like, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, man, alcohol is terrible. But, this meth and the opioid epidemic is just crazy. Mm. And it's like, what are you going to do? Keep taking subs when you're like 85?
Do you know any 70-year-old heroin? No.
I don't know.
There's not. And now you can know some 70-year-olds who are in recovery.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
But to keep going that way and to sit there and think, well, I don't want to give up drinking or I don't want to give up my drug. Why? It does absolutely nothing for you. Mm-hmm. And Marnie and I are sitting right here telling you, like, just looking at the Roku screen flashing by, we're so thankful we're not in that situation right now. It gets better. We're doing pretty good at life. We've gotten married. Mm-hmm. We do stuff together sometimes.
Oh my God, Corey.
That's why I'm just.
Lord.
Shout out to your dad. But no, life's gotten so much better, and my God, to think that I was even at that kind of a place, and that hell no, I'm not going back. Mm-hmm. No, I used to say, you could pay me $1 million because that's a lot of money. I might drink again. I wouldn't do it for $1 million.
No.
Maybe like 100 million.
No, not me.
100 million, I probably would. But it's got to be like crazy money. Like, I'm setting the whole family
What would
up.
that accomplish? So you have $1 million and then you're
100
miserable.
million.
100 million and you're miserable and dead.
I put it all on black.
Miserable
I go
first.
to the casino all on black.
Plus, I wouldn't be around. So how about that?
You want
So you want to take your 100 mil?
No.
That's right.
But you're never going to know. You'll be gone for the weekend.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I can do it this weekend.
Yeah,
It'll be just this one weekend.
That doesn't work either.
It'll be just this one weekend.
Never happens.
That's where I would lose it, because there'd be like some stipulation. Okay, you have to stop on Sunday. Huh? Yep, start on Friday, stop on Sunday. $100 million is yours. That's a trick. That's a horrible game. I would lose. If you drink after that, we take the money back. Wait, what? No, but yeah, I wouldn't. No, those stipulations, I'd say no, because it wouldn't work that way. Whew, yeah, that wouldn't be worth it. No thanks.
Right.
I like my life, thanks. Mm-hmm. It's not about money.
Yeah. This makes me think about how, did you ever go to any of your high school reunions?
Oh, God.
Uh-oh, he just rolled his eyes like I didn't think they were coming back down. Then what?
No, I don't remember. Yeah, I think maybe the 10-year.
You don't remember them?
Or
you
bad.
You went to
drunk.
it?
I don't think I was that guy that was drunk. I mean, I was drunk, but I don't think I was like super drunk. Seems like one of my friends, maybe Todd was. Somebody was like over the top drunk. I mean, it could have been me. I don't think it was me, though.
So that makes it okay that you weren't the worst one there?
Yeah. Huh. I just don't remember too much about it.
Huh. Well, the reason I bring that up is because I actually am somewhat in communication with, just through social media, Facebook and stuff, with individuals that I went to high school with that, we were never close, but we knew each other. And, at one point, several times actually, it was inquired, like, did you ever go to any of our high school reunions? And I was like, no. And I had known about, I remember one specific time, I think it was the 10, right? Mm-hmm. 10 years, the one that, I don't know, because, people are out in the world, and they're essentially kind of like on their way. They're in adulthood, and, you're checking back with home base. Like, this is what I've done with my life. This is where I'm at. This is what I've accomplished. This is, how I hold myself. This is what I look like. And these are the things that I have. And look at me now kind of thing. And I had nothing. I had nothing. I had something at the time. Like I can't remember details, but I know for a fact that I was like, I am in no way, shape, or form proud of where I am today in my life. And I know I was in active addiction, so that piece right there is huge. Even though I probably, you could figure out ways to kind of smooth that over and make things look good for the night. But I had nothing to report to the world about me and my life and my happiness. So why would I go and can put myself in that situation? Which makes me sad. That makes me sad that that's how that went, If I had a high school reunion tomorrow, I would be there. I'd be like, I will MC that thing. Like, sign me up. Look at me now. But no, I don't know. That's just it. I think about that from time to time. You know what I mean? And I think that kind of goes back to, and you can relate to this, is when your family would try to get in contact with you or friends, and things weren't going so hot, and you just didn't want to pick up that phone.
Yeah.
You just are like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'll call them back when things are good, like when I turn some stuff around here in a minute. And I get that, I get my job back, or I get settled into this, or I get off this person's couch, or whatever the case is. Seriously, it was bad, and so those were sad times. And now I'm like, I'm calling my mom. I'm like, why didn't you pick up the phone yesterday? I tried calling you.
Dodging me?
Yeah. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, your trip away from home was a lot different, I think, than mine. I didn't have to. I was holding it together by a very thin line, or a thread, or whatever it's called. But yeah, having the family support is something that I think helped me. And that's when I started doing the job, bouncing around, and I'll drink over here and no one's going to know. And, moving in with my parents again, then getting my own place again, and back or whatever. And then it was not fun.
Yeah.
But having things to report, going to a high school reunion, it seems like there was another one too, but I don't remember if I think maybe I was like starting to shake a lot. So I didn't really feel like going. I lived in Fort Smith, Arkansas at the time. And I was just like, there's no point. What am I going to go in there? I'm like, hey man, I need a drink now. But yeah, I don't know. After a while, then you realize too, like, I talk to those people that I like on Facebook anyway. So the other ones, meh.
Yeah, and what I thought, just now thinking about is, the Fellowship of Alcoholics Anonymous is, one of the things that they utilize is sponsors. So they have sponsorships, and the idea behind that, for those of you that aren't familiar with it, is essentially it's somebody who has a substantial amount of sobriety, who's familiar with the program, and who has worked what they call the 12 steps. And, that's a whole different podcast, and you can get information on that off of our resources. There should be a link. But anyhow, a lot of the things that sponsors will say, I want you to check in, with some people, like whatever, up per week, make 5 phone calls this week to people, tell them what you're doing, tell them what you're up to. And people are like, ugh, why do I have to do that? It's because if you're doing the right thing, even if it's just little tiny baby steps, if you're just like, I went to 2 meetings this week so far, I've got this new job. I mean, saying that out loud, it's not so much for the other person on the end of the line. It's for yourself, like reinforcing that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you have things to report to the world. They're not huge things. They're not going to start off and be huge, but they at the same time they are, So I suggest doing that.
Did you ever do that?
I did.
Did you ever feel like a burden?
It did. It felt like I was like, they don't want to hear from me, you know. But then you get the people that are expecting the phone calls and want to hear from you. And like I said, you can pick who it is. It doesn't have to be random people. They say that lots of sponsors will suggest that you call other people that are in the program. But I mean, this is just a kind of a thing that you can do on your own. It can be your sister. It can be, you know, your kids. It can be your mother, you know, whatever. So
I got some numbers we should let people check in with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I bet.
Just ask for John.
Man.
Oh, it'd be so funny. That's a good idea though.
Yeah.
When people are in early recovery, sometimes it's hard. And I remember when I went through the recovery coach training the second time through FAN.
He made it through the first time. He didn't get, you know, not pass it. He just took it again.
Yeah, because that's what I do. Perfection. No, the first time was kind of like meh. And the second time, taking it with FAN was a lot different. And I got a lot more out of it. So, But they said that there's like the three types of people. The people that don't want to tell anybody. Don't want nobody to know. There's people like me who are like, hey, I'm in recovery, MFer, look over here. And then there are people that are like, meh, people can know, people can't. It doesn't really matter. You know, they're not going out of their way to tell anybody, but they're not hiding it either. Back to the guy though from earlier, the guy that what was his name? I said we were going to call him Ryan. Yeah, he was like, man, I don't want people to know. I don't want this. I don't want that. And I told him I used to be that way. You know, I was Corey Winfield on the radio. Like, people can't know. That would ruin me. And I thought people would judge me and this and that. And I was so worried about what other people thought. And then when I started this podcast, it was kind of when I turned the corner and thought, I'm not hiding it from anyone anyway. You know, as much as I thought I was, people knew. People saw my Facebook post. They saw my mom's post on there like, look, searching for Corey. He's drunk again. Don't know where he's at. You know, people saw that. But when I finally was like, all right, screw it, I'm in recovery. You know, like, let's let the world know. I was shocked that it wasn't like I thought it was going to be. It wasn't people going, oh, yeah, that alcoholic, dirty son of a bitch. They're like, well, good for him.
Yeah.
Like, it was supportive. And the people that weren't supportive, who cares? And I told dude, man, and I heard this in rehab, like, what somebody else's business or whatever other people think is none of my business.
Yeah. That's
you know, and it's really not. You know, people can like this podcast. They cannot like this podcast. People can like me. They cannot like me. It doesn't matter. You know, I'm doing this podcast for me. People listen, and that's cool. And they can get something out of it. That's even better. But, you know, to sit here and just worry about what other people think about me all the time just gets old. And part of me actually feeling comfortable with that was when I was in radio, when I was young in radio. And I remember this guy called one time, and I was on the weekend shift, maybe doing overnights, and he called and he told me I sucked. And he hung up the phone, and that crushed me. I thought about that all night long, the ride home, the next morning, like, man, that guy called and said I sucked. What? You know, and getting over that part of it through the radio, you know, and learning how to like bounce back from that, I think helped. And that's why when I did the start of the podcast and opening up like that, it created this whole recovery Corey kind of personality or persona, or I don't know, to where I don't care what people think about it. Here it is. I'm going to say it, you know, and that really did help me move forward. And I think moving forward for me was a huge thing, because until I was ready to accept to myself and 100% that I'm in recovery and I don't care who knows, I was still going to be stuck. So that was kind of a big thing for me, to just put whatever people think about me, whatever they're going to say, whatever, man.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. And we have to be ready for that. There's haters in the world.
Hell yeah.
There always will be. There's
hate.
always going to be haters. And you just got to be like, I feel sorry for you.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And it's not, it's that too. Even if, if they have a little grain of reason behind why it is that they say what they say that's towards hate, let them say it. Don't let it change how you feel about what you're doing with yourself and your world. Because that's what they want. They want to bring you down. They want you to stress over it. They want you to feel all yucky inside. They want you to get angry. Don't do it. Just stay on top of things and keep doing what you're doing.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Yeah. So
there you go.
There you go.
There's your podcast for tonight. It was going to be a quick one, but it's normal, half hour-ish. So thanks. Appreciate you listening. I have no idea what we planned on talking about, but we didn't really talk about anything.
It's okay.
It's fine. We're done. Thank you for listening. And the shirts, the St. Patrick's Day shirts, are not done yet because the handle broke on our machine.
Do you want to tell them what they look like?
Heat press. Yeah, or we can show them.
We could show them too. So,
picture and Facebook it, Instagram it. We're going to gram it. And then I think it goes to Twitter and Facebook and our webpage.
Okay.
At 217recovery.com. Scroll down to the bottom. You can get that app from the App Store.
Yeah.
Google Play Store. We're all up in there.
Yeah.
217 Recovery.
Corey came up with a really cool logo with this cute little adorable leprechaun holding a sign that says sober and then the date of St. Patrick's Day, 3/17/21.
So,
and then I came up with the one that says it has sober period, and then it says it's not about luck, but the luck is actually a 4-leaf clover. It's really sweet.
Yeah, we've given a couple out. Had some requests for them, and we're gonna hook Shane up with one once we get them. Get the press that should be fixed tomorrow.
He's on a mission.
Shane. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We should do a podcast just about Shane.
We should. Man, I'm telling you, he's got the recovery itch, which is great.
Called the Shane Cast. Maybe we'll do the Shane Cast Saturdays.
No, bro, it's good.
I said that, he's like, that's awesome. That's going to be great.
Yeah,
I'll be there Saturday.
Whoa, like takes your breath away. He's so passionate about it, which I love it because I was, I had those days. I had that too. But you got to, I was like, man, just keep on keeping on with that.
Well, and that's the thing, and not to talk about Shane, but we're talking about Shane. So, I think he's so gung-ho and so eager, and I think that's great. And once you get a taste of helping other people and how good that makes you feel, you want more of it, and you want to help more people, and you want to do this, and you want to do that. And that's cool. That's a good place to be. It's better than being in the opposite place. Of F everybody, I don't care. I'm just going to lie my way through this, and I'm going to drink on the side. No one's going to know. And
yeah, especially when there's that overlap of seeing people who aren't making it and trying, and then you're reflecting on looking at that situation, and you're like outside of yourself that used to be me. And I want to help this person because I know that they can get past this part. I know that they have it in them. I want to help them find the way. And so that's where that passion comes, or that's where that drive comes from. And it's awesome. It's, that's the people that support other people in recovery. I mean, we all need each other because nobody knows what we're going through.
Right.
They can try to understand us. They could read a bunch of books. And, go get a bunch of letters after their name and stick you on a couch and talk about your mom or whatever. But Freudian, whatever. No, but at the end of the day, it's the real help. In my experience, I can't speak for everybody, but the most help and the most direction I've gotten is from other people that have made it, that are doing the thing and staying sober. And it's a daily reprieve. It is. Everybody, when we wake up in the morning, from the second you open your eyes, everybody has the same chances of relapse. Everybody has the same amount of minutes of sober time that day from the second you open your eyes. it starts. So think about that.
I will. I'll think about that. I was going to say something else about Shane. He, I remember when I first met him, he was very, I don't want to say ashamed, but he was at that point where he's just tired of hurting other people with his actions, and he just had enough. I seen it, and he was like talking, and I was like, okay, now that guy is onto something here with what he just shared, because that was like deep and from the heart, and that's a guy who's tired.
This isn't treatment,
or I don't know, whatever. The first time I met him, but yeah, it was just like that guy. That guy wants it. Like he's done. He's tired. Like he is not just playing it. He's not playing a game anymore. Like he's ready to accept what he has to do. Mm-hmm. He's ready to let go, let God. You really have to. You have to let God help you, because I know I couldn't do it on my own.
Yeah, for real.
I haven't done anything. God's done all of this, so much love.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's enough about Shane. We'll do Shane Saturdays or something. Shane, I told him he could be on the podcast, so we'll have to set that up.
Yeah.
But, all right, thanks for listening. 217recovery.com resources. I was talking about the apps. It's just one app, but it's in different places. So get it for your Android, get it for your iPhone. And we will talk to you on Tuesday.
Talk to you Tuesday.
See ya.
See ya.
Later. Stay sober. For your mom.